this is not a man who sees America as you and I see America. We see America as a force for good in this world. We see an America of exceptionalism. Yes, USA, USA. Our opponent is someone who sees America as imperfect enough to pal around with terrorists who targeted their own country. This, ladies and gentlemen, has nothing to do with the kind of change that anyone can believe in. Not my kids and not your kids.
Senator McCain, you have said repeatedly, quote, I know a lot less about economics than I do about military and foreign policy issues. I still need to be educated. Is it a problem for your campaign that the economy is now the most important issue, one that, by your own acknowledgement, you are not well versed on?
Actually, I don't know where you got that quote from. I'm very well versed in economics. I was there at the Reagan Revolution. I'm very well versed on economics, and that's why I have the support of people like Jack Kemp, people like Phil Graham. That's why I have a strong team around me.
I want to bring you back to Thursday in an exchange we had.
Actually, I don't know where you got that quote from. I'm very well versed in economics.
I got it from John McCain, and here it is. McCain is refreshingly blunt when he tells me, quote, I'm going to be honest. I know a lot less about economics than I do about military and foreign policy issues. I still need to be educated.
My question is for Senator McCain. This is an economic question that I want to ask. It has to do with the President's Working Group on Financial Markets. I'd like to know what your opinion is of this and whether you would keep it in place, what their role would be, if you, or you would get rid of this group. And if you kept the group, would you make sure we would see some sunlight and know what they're doing and how they're being involved in our markets?
Well, obviously, we'd like to see more sunshine. But I, as president, as every other president, rely primarily on my Secretary of the Treasury, on my Council of Economic Advisors, on the head of that. I would rely on a circle that I have had developed over many years of people like Jack Kemp, Phil Graham, Warren Rudman, Pete Peterson, and the Concord Group. I have a process of leadership, Ron, that is sort of an inclusive one that I have developed, a circle of acquaintances and people that are supporters and friends of mine who I've worked with for many, many years.
So you'd get rid of
You
this
remember group? Back in 1982 when Phil Graham and Warren Rudman and Graham Latta and all of those people got the first real tax cuts done, the first real restraints in taxes. I was there. You were there. And I rely on those people to a much larger degree than any, quote, formal organization.
But no politician can talk about, well, things are not as bad as you think, because that sounds like they don't care. And yet, you just hear this constant whining, complaining about our loss of our competitiveness, America in decline. We've never been more dominant. We've never had more natural advantages than we have today. We've sort of become a nation of whiners.
And And that's not change we can believe in. That's not change we can believe in. That's not change we can believe in. He doesn't trust us to make decisions for ourselves and wants the government to make them for us. That's not change we can believe in. His plan represents the old ways of government. That's not change we can believe in. That's not change we can believe in. Why? That type of government doesn't trust Americans to know what's right or what's best in their own interests. He's an impressive man who makes a great first impression, but this is indeed a change election. The choice is between the right change and the wrong change. The irony is that Americans have been experiencing a lot of change in their lives. Some of these changes have distressed many American families.